All right, we're at UC Berkeley right now, where last night there were some pretty violent protests that shut down a conservative speaker here on campus, and protesters ended up smashing some windows of the student union here, where you can see it behind me, boarded up right now after the destruction here right in the center of campus. And I want to show you guys what's going on in the middle of campus right now, because tensions are still very high. But first I'm going to show you some of the destruction. So right now all we can see really is that, and then you can see here this tree where we were told that there was some sort of piece of machinery that got knocked over and started a fire here, and that we were told that the barricades here were tossed into the glass here over on the side, and that's how that happened. And we just spoke to a student journalist who said that he was out here shooting video, and he said that he was knocked to the ground and beaten, and somebody tried to steal his phone, and so he went to the hospital and he ran away scared and ended up having a mild concussion. So we've been talking to people on campus. We've had some hostility towards us because we're in the media, and tensions are pretty high here. And I want to show you guys what's going on behind me right now. I'll set up the scene, which just really developed in something bigger. So it started out as a man who was standing there from an anti-fascist group, and he said that talk to me about shutting down last night's event, which was Milo Yiannopoulos. And so he started engaging in debates with a couple of people, and then it turned into a very heated debate, and then it grew and it grew and it grew, and then now I'll show you, turning this around, now it grew into this with just a big crowd of students who are here just debating. And really what started as protests over a conservative speaker shutting that speaker down turned into a conversation about free speech here at Berkeley. You can see this is Sproul Hall, which is kind of the main administration building here on campus. And obviously we know that Berkeley was the birthplace of the free speech movement. We're hearing a lot of people talking about that today, just kind of going back to the activism that this campus is known for. Let me show you what's going on right now real quick before I keep talking.
They want to take away people's citizenship for exercising their constitutional right to burn the American flag. A regime that's muzzling the EPA, that's telling the press to shut up, that's got a watch list for professors. That is ridiculous. All right, don't change the subject, man. Look, that is ridiculous to talk about free speech when you're supporting fascism, all right? That's what Milo is doing. That's what the Trump regime is. It's the American Hitler. They have to be stopped, not dialogued with. Says the communist. So what's your point, man?
All right. So that group has just grown in the past, I'd say, 15 minutes, and we interviewed two people from both sides. One person who you just saw, back up here, go over here. There's a lot of people walking by. So one person that you just saw, he thinks that the protesters had every right and did the right thing in shutting down the speaker last night. And then other people are arguing that this goes against this university, that this university is known for free speech and fighting for that right, and that shutting it down is just going against that completely, and they think it's ironic, hypocritical, and somebody said that it's a shame that these protesters came in, smashed buildings, and ruined really the new student union right there, which they said was recently renovated. It's where they keep their Amazon boxes on campus. So this group here is kind of dispersing, and we're going to show you some of the damage later on. I have some pictures that I can share here on Facebook, but the event last night was hosted by the Berkeley College Republicans, and they released a statement today saying that free speech is dead and that it's... Hi.
I never got your email.
Oh yeah, I'll share it with you. I'm just on Facebook Live. Here, I was actually summarizing what you said. So this is the student we interviewed about his experience, and he was injured last night in the protest. So do you want to summarize kind of what happened to you last night here?
So right there, what happened was I'm a student journalist. I was filming what was going on. and a group of them kind of ganged up on me. They didn't appreciate that I was filming them in a public place, so they ganged up on me. They tried to steal my phone and backpack. They hit me in the head with their fists and sticks many times. I was able to collect my backpack and phone and then run away. They chased after me for a little bit, but I ran off campus, and I came back to cover the protests. When the protests were over, I was feeling really dazed and dizzy, so I went over to the hospital, and they said I had a mild concussion.
And you still have your hospital bracelet on?
Yeah, I just came back.
Okay. So to you, was it scary? You said it was.
It was. It could have gotten much worse, to be honest. It could have gotten, because I saw people getting bludgeoned. I saw, an innocent girl right there just standing there get hit, and then immediately after I caught it on camera, but there was a pool of blood. People just getting bludgeoned in the streets saying, "Oh, get him, he's a Nazi," And I was called a Nazi for even holding a belief like, I think he should be allowed to speak even. I think that even though he shouldn't be allowed to speak, I don't believe in this violence. And I was talking to other groups of people, and even me having an opinion against the violence, I was called a Nazi and many different things. And then people who didn't have held opinions against this sort of violence were targeted in the streets. We're for saying some different things. They said, get him, and they were beating him.
And just seeing all the people that gathered here and debating this, really. Mm-hmm. So it's really high tensions. You said that it feels very divided right now.
Yeah, very divided. Our campus is just the level of the kind of political discourse that goes on this campus right now is absolutely toxic and divisive. And it's people, characterizing the other side in a certain way, and not even listening to their side and not understanding what's going on. And I think the election has definitely increased the tensions in this campus. And yeah.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank
I'll
you.
give you my email in a sec. I'm just going to wrap this up because...
I'll just stick by.
Okay. So again, a lot of tensions here. We've been trying to do some interviews, and some people saying, don't talk to them. As he was saying, people called him a Nazi last night. And so the chancellor of Berkeley came out with a statement basically... Yeah, I have a microphone here. I'm trying this out for the first time for those of you who noticed. So the chancellor obviously condemned everything, basically saying that, what happened goes against what this university stands for. I'm going to move around right now. But, and saying that, it was a protest by students, and hundreds of students, we're told probably like 1,500 students, but then it was another group who the chancellor says was not associated with the university, who came armed, he said, and basically we heard throwing sticks, throwing barricades, Molotov cocktails, and again there was a fire over here, right here near the student union, and I'm going to take a walk by. A lot of students are walking by right now. I think it's in between classes, but we're going to show you, this is where the fire was sparked, right here. You can see that there, and then we're going to go up to the boarded up portion of the building. And there's paint on the ground here, you can see, and this new building was just completely smashed up. This is the student union. This is where Milo Yiannopoulos was scheduled to speak, and this is where they kind of keep their Amazon boxes and the student union. So a lot going on here on Berkeley's campus today. We're going to have reports at 5 and 6 o'clock, and if you have any questions, leave them here. And yes. So anyways, I'll answer some of your questions soon about this story, and then I'll post some pictures of more of the damage, but you'll hear from both sides coming up later tonight on Fox 40.